Welcome back to the Joseph Graham Show. This is going to be more of a special type of episode. I know a lot of people are watching social media and everything right now. There's a lot going on. But I want to talk about is a Persian uprising in Iran, the revolution to get rid of the nasty regime that's been there for a long time. And if you think about how this regime has affected the world since the early 80s, late 70s, it supported terror. It supports Hezbollah. It supports Hamas. It supports terror around the world. It killed its own people. In fact, the reason they're uprising right now is because another lady hair showed or something, and their secret crazy police killed her. And people are like, no more. We're not gonna be killing our people because a girl's hair string fell out. And they're at this point in the streets by the millions. They're at this point right now, standing in front of bullets, standing up for freedom, looking for freedom. And it's so shocking to me. Our media is silent or mostly silent. They're throwing a couple articles up here now because they have to, but they're not posting coverage. And this doesn't even seem like it should be a right or a left issue. This is a evil regime. Now, let me say this: not all Muslims are evil. Not everyone that follows Islam is evil. I don't think that. But this regime in Iran, 100% evil. Murdered thousands of people. Terrorism around the world, horrible. You would think feminists on the right would love the fact that there's women earning their oppression and doing things that are expressing what they feel should be for freedom. You should think the people on the right would be like, this is great because it will make stabilization around the world. That evil regime won't be there anymore. People won't be oppressed. This should be an issue that we both agree on. But instead, we're focused on stuff that doesn't matter as much or hyperfixated on things that aren't as important. Guys, come on, seriously, this could be the Berlin Wall of the 2020s. In 1987, the Berlin Wall fell because of freedom, because people said enough is enough. In Iran right now, the Persians are rising up saying enough is enough. So I just want your thoughts on it because I'm thinking here going, why is it not being covered? Why is it not being shared 24/7? I gotta give props to Elon. He opened up Starlink to help them because they got blacked out. Like they turned off the internet, they turned off the electricity, they turned off everything, and then they started killing their citizens. That's crazy. I'm happy that Elon said, hey, cool, we're gonna light this up and just do it for free. I know mean billionaire so bad he's giving away free stuff to help people who are being oppressed again. Isn't that crazy? I think this is the other thing I would say. I think the American people need to stop being right or left. I think we need to stop going behind our favorite fan cheer and saying this is the best person ever or this is the worst person ever just because they have an R or a D by their name. They're both full of crap. All of them are full of crap. All of them have an agenda. Just know that. If you know that they already have an agenda, it's fine. But when it comes to freedom, when it comes to people standing up for what is right, as an American, I'm talking to Americans here, anyone else around the world, maybe you don't believe this, cool, fine. But as an American, we believe in freedom. We believe in the right of the individual to express and live a life in pursuit of happiness, however they want. We believe that people should be able to speak their mind. We believe that people should have to have differing voices and be okay. We believe that people should be able to live as long as they're abiding by our laws. We're not talking about breaking the law here. We're talking about abiding by our laws. Peaceful protest is fine. Doing things the right way is fine. But in Iran, they for 40 years they've been oppressed. For 40 years, women have been getting acid thrown on their face if stuff gets thrown there, or Christians being murdered by the thousands, or minority groups in that region being destroyed and hurt because they didn't follow whatever brand of Sharia law that group said. So I'm super hopeful for them. I'm glad they've hit this stopping point where they're standing up. Am I for intervention? I'm cold. I'm a libertarian. I think the U.S. should stay out of most things. But I also understand that there's certain times in life where if you take out the big bad guy, everything else falls. And so here's something that I think maybe people just didn't catch. Venezuela, whether you agree with that or not, Trump came in, took out the dictator, destabilized or stabilized actually that region, gave people a voice for freedom. They're dancing in the street for the most part. Um, and that has an effect because what we don't pay attention to is this. Iran, Venezuela, China, Russia had this whole little thing going behind everyone's back, and even though Iran was sanctioned by most of the world, Venezuela was still buying their stuff, and they were selling stuff back and forth. Well, when the Venezuela stuff got cut off, guess what? It put pressure on the Iranian regime because their cash flow, their resource flow, their other stuff started to drop. So I know people are like saying, well, why was Venezuela such a big deal? Well, a couple big things. One, first and foremost, dictator was taken out who was a narco agent who was putting fentanyl into the U.S., who was a threat to the U.S., who could have had military bases from our enemies pretty close by. So went in, no loss of American life, took him. He's being tried. We'll see how that goes. Two, it made Iran weaker. We've already had issues with Iran earlier this year. Whether you agree with the interventions that we did before or not, that's whatever. But if you look at the Middle East, take your political hat off of who's right, who's wrong. Israel is the only nation where people can actually have true democracy there right now. There's a second hope. If Iran goes back to being secular and gets its freedom, guess what? Now you have two. And you cut off the head of the group that was funding the most terrorist organizations around the world. Now I know here's going to be the next argument. Well, yeah, but the U.S. started. Yes, we did. In the 50s and 60s, U.S. and Britain, we were training groups to fight the Russians, the communists, whatever. Did the U.S. and CIA train Osama bin Laden and his group? Yes, they did. Did they realize after a while that was a bad mistake? Yes. But they did train them. So I'm not saying the US has not had any negative parts in this region that Europe hasn't as well, or China, or Russia, or anyone. Like there's geopolitics here going on, guys. But the Iranian people are starting to step up. Another thing you might not know for you American Christians that are paying attention to my show or Christian around the world, there's been a revival in Iran. It's been growing for years. Millions of people are converting back to Christianity. That in itself is causing an undertow, a flow of people wanting freedom, wanting to live a life that they want to do, not being bound by a regime of terror. Why? Because Christ speaks about love. Christ spoke about letting people live their life, love God, love people, not if you don't love my God, I kill you. And that's a really crazy dynamic here. And again, I'm making a distinction. The really religious extremists in Iran compared to Christianity in that regard. I'm not saying they're again. I'm not going to say every Muslim's bad. 'Cause I don't think every Muslim's bad. I have some friends that are Muslims. I know some of them that are great, great people. No big deal. I don't have a problem with it. It's the extremes of any group. You could be a Christian group, it could be a Muslim group, whatever. But in this case, it's a Muslim group because the Ayatollah and the mullahs kill people for all this stupid reason. So last question. Why is the news media not covering this? And the only thing I think of is two things. One, Fox is covering it a little bit. Um, and I don't really think this is a Trump thing. I think Trump did something with Venezuela, and that would definitely be a Trump thing. You'd be mad or whatever. And this is just a cause or effect around the world from it. But if Iran becomes free now, and it can be tied back to Trump, the mainstream media doesn't like him. They're gonna just not do it, which is dumb. Because I would think every feminist, every leftist, everyone on that side of the group would be happy. Because guess what? In Israel right now, you can be gay and not be killed. You can wear whatever you want and not be killed. You can go to get education and not be killed. In Iran right now, if you're gay, they kill you. If you don't do the thing that they want you to do, they'll throw acid in your face or kill you. If you're not following their strict rules, they kill you. So if that country became more like Israel in the sense of being more secular and more liberated, and everyone gets to decide what they want to do, whether they want to be Christian, atheist, Muslim, whatever, cool. That would be a benefit in the Middle East and the funding of terror being taken away would be great. So I don't understand why the media isn't pushing this unless they're afraid it's going to give Trump something. And then if that's the case, stop. He's going to be gone in 2 more years. Who cares? This is about the Iranian people, the Persians rising up and taking their country back. This could be one of the biggest stories when you look back in history that the mainstream media missed because they were too caught up in their bias on something that doesn't even really affect the U.S. except for the fact that we may intervene a little bit. We intervene all over. We intervened in Croatia under Clinton. We used we into Pakistan to go Osama bin Laden under Biden. or Biden, or I'm sorry, under Obama. Like we've done this with multiple Republican, Democrat presidents, doesn't matter. So let's cut the crap. Let's unite behind the Persians and support them because democracy and freedom around the world makes the world a better place. That way, people in Iran, the Persians can decide what they want to do, what life they want to live. Tell me your thoughts. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Love to hear. Appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, just want to hop on here. This is the Joseph Graham Show, special issue on Iran and around the world and the uprising of freedom and hope that I hope takes place for those people very soon.